Assalamu alaikum, Professor Amr al-Ruwas, distinguished guests, professors, ESBB members, presenters, and participants. I am Shahla Ba'bood, a master degree student in curriculum and instruction teaching English language in Dhofar University, and I'm beyond honored to be here with you today. On behalf of Dhofar University and the conference organizing committees, I would like to extend a very warm welcome to all of you to our joint international conference with English Scholars Beyond Borders, titled Crossing Borders of Scholarship, Teaching and Learning English, Remapping Roads and Building Bridges. This conference is organized by the College of Arts and Applied Sciences and a not-for-profit international organization named English Scholars Beyond Borders. Before starting the conference proceedings, let us participate in the national anthem and then listen to some verses from the Holy Quran.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق خلق الإنسان من علق اقرأ وربك الأكرم الذي علم بالقلم علم الإنسان ما لم يعلم.
I would like to thank our Vice Chancellor, Professor Amr al-Ruwas, under whose auspices this conference is organized and is being conducted. Thank you very much, sir, for your wholehearted support of this conference. Next, I would like to invite the founding member of English Scholars Beyond Borders, Professor Roger Nunn, to deliver the inaugural address of this conference.
Thank you very much. And I would also really like to extend our thanks to Dr. Amar, Dr. Khalid, and of course to Vijay as well, who's done all the excellent organization behind the scenes as we're moving forward. I'll share my screen, and I have a short PowerPoint I'd like to share with you. Okay, I hope you can now all see my screen. What I'd like to do is just briefly introduce English Scholars Beyond Borders to those of you who maybe are not familiar with our organization. Here you can see normally we have one live conference every year, and we run an index journal. And of course, there are many other collaborative activities going on. A fairly traditional circle of scholars, traditional perhaps in almost the Germanic sense from the 19th century, if you like, where except we're international. So here you can see a lot of our members when we were actually able to meet physically in Jalandhar at KMV Women's College, which was an excellent center of education in India, one of the top, if not the top, women's educational institution. And this was a very humbling experience for me as a British citizen too, because this was a college which was during the freedom struggle against British colonial rule. This was a college which was actually hiding people who were fighting against the obvious evils of colonialism at the time. So it was a very fascinating experience, and I suppose you could say they had no reason to be welcoming a British citizen to the extent that they did, but we had a fantastic welcome here, the whole group, and of course we came from far and wide. Today, of course, we're meeting as almost everywhere in the world at the moment, we're meeting online, and I'm not actually far away from Oman. I'm within about a 1 hour's flight. 2 years ago, VJ was able to visit us at our conference here, but there is this barrier, of course. And of course, one of the aims of English Scholars Beyond Borders is to try to stress the global commons, what we all actually share. So we're really interested in trying to connect people who would not normally easily contact each other. What we try to do is stress what we have in common, not stress the differences, the possibly past conflicts between our cultures, but we try to stress what we all have in common and what we can learn from each other. And the notion of global comment comes from Duara in 2015, and it's I think it's our organization was founded just before that, but this seemed like a really good motto, if you like, for English Scholars Beyond Borders. So we all live a very different reality, but once a year and during the year in all kinds of other activities, we do try to come together. It does seem, of course, in 2021 that some of the things that cross borders more easily are the less pleasant things, such as obviously the COVID virus, which is preventing us all meeting face to face. So we are trying always to, just on a small academic level, to stress the positive, if you like, the actual positive connections that we can make. And of course, all organizations have their values, and some of our values we need to ask you about because they're beyond our own recognition, what we could call the unknown unknowns of English Scholars Beyond Borders, and some we try to make explicit if we can. And one very important value for us is we don't talk about things like native speaker competence. We believe that the kinds of competence that matter to us are multicentric, not defined by one location or origin. So we don't believe for even that English language competence sits in Washington, New York, London, but basically a language belongs to those people who are competent in it. And as everybody who's been involved in our journals would testify, I think, whether the Asian journals or the English Scholars Beyond Borders journals, it's very rarely this so-called native speakers who necessarily succeed through what can be a fairly rigorous review process. So, we try to go beyond the cliches, if you like, the cliches that certain people have competence and others just by birthright cannot, which is clearly not the case in our own field. So we do try to go just beyond the cultural as well. Why do we cross borders? What kinds of borders are we talking about? I think we're talking about breaking down generic barriers as well. And it would seem to us in 2021, unfortunately, that in fields like publishing, the barriers are coming up rather than going down, whereas we're interested in a kind of heterodoxy. I remember Michael Fennell, who's not with us, unfortunately, for this conference, but when we met in Izmir, he was doing a PhD thesis, which he has now got, and he demonstrated that a PhD thesis, for example, could be written as a narrative. And his presentation was delivered as a letter, and yet it was one of the most gripping presentations I've seen over the last decade. So, we're interested in how we can do things well, but perhaps not be held back by these barriers. We're against narrow vocationalism. Ron Carter, who unfortunately is no longer of this world, but has talked about the fact when we hold up certain genres as models, and I'm sure he was thinking of publishing, that it becomes rigid and deterministic, and therefore not really conducive for scholarship. So our organization, in a very small way, tries to look at genre-based writing practices, and we try to produce not unreflective, but reflective writers who can do more than just sustain a genre, because sustaining genres is not a valid aim for an organization like our own, for sure. And of course, there is a potential suppression of voices as well when we just sustain genres, whether for students or faculty. And of course, we might wonder as well, I mean, one paper I've written, which seems to have attracted still the least attention, was one where I was proposing hyperlinked journal papers. It's in the first issue of the ESBB journal, actually. And yeah, it hasn't attracted much attention. I'm not complaining about that. That's the way things go. But I was asking why are journal papers still written in linear format nowadays? So we're looking at epistemic diversity, competence, holism. This is one of my favorite quotations: within the tolerant confines of meta-epistemic instrumentalism, we can welcome, even as rational, much of the remarkable divergence we see in contemporary epistemology. Okay, and I think I'm perhaps going over my time a little bit here, so I'll move through the next part and a little bit more quickly. One of the things I've tried to do in my own academic career is try to define important characteristics of academic, international academic communication. And of course, we've talked about it being global, multicentric, but also that any competence inevitably is only partial. We only see a small proportion of the picture. So it must be compensatory as well, that we have to compensate for the weaknesses we have. And this is where we learn from other people. And then coming to one of the main ideas of English scholars beyond borders, that we believe in translatability, conceptual translatability, so that when we're at a conference like this one, of course, we are picking up and presenting data from local contexts, but this cannot be automatically transported to another culture. We cannot take home something from Vietnam and use it in Sharjah, but we can translate it into something which is usable. And let's not forget the creativity that we are hoping to create as well. We are going to finish our conference actually with a creative panel. So it's this combination of local and international competence that we're trying to target. The ability to use, adjust, develop knowledge and skills learnt in one context in unknown and often unpredictable contexts. And I'd just like to finish with our usual ESBB challenge. We've all prepared our PowerPoints, I'm sure, and we've prepared exactly what we want to say. Could I challenge everybody to add one spontaneous translatable reference to one paper that you have heard earlier in the conference, and add this spontaneously to your own presentation? So thank you very much for joining us. I will be, of course, joining a few presentations later, including one later today. And I will be mentioning the publishing potential that comes by attending this conference. This will be dealt with later in the conference, towards the end of the conference. And of course, the presentation I'm involved in this afternoon will be talking about publishing as well. So thank you again to everybody at Dhofar University for welcoming us, for doing all the fantastic planning and for putting us all together online today. And I wish you an excellent conference.
Thank you, sir, for your enlightening speech. Today, all of us at Dhofar University feel truly honored to host this joint conference with English Scholars Beyond Borders. Now, I would like to call upon you, the conference, Chair Dr. Khalid al-Mashikhi, the Dean of College of Arts and Applied Sciences, to address the audience of this conference that is joining us from a host of countries around the world.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dear Professor Amr bin Ali al-Rawas, Vice Chancellor of Dhofar University, distinguished guests, researchers, dear colleagues, dear students, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you're joining us from this morning. I am honored and delighted to welcome you to the English Scholars Beyond Borders and Dhofar University's International Conference on Crossing Borders of Scholarship for Teaching and Learning English, Remapping Routes, and Building Bridges. This conference is unique in the sense that it brings together a selected group of researchers, scholars, and teachers to share their experiences about teaching, learning, and researching of English language, linguistics, and translation, and more importantly, to share their proposed solutions to many of the challenges faced by educators when teaching English in a variety of contexts. Our conference program, with the representation from 19 different countries, is rich and varied, with 1 keynote address, 11 plenary talks, 39 research papers, 1 workshop, and 1 plenary panel discussion split between 4 to 5 parallel sessions each day of the conference. We expect a wide range of participation from educators, teachers, students, and researchers from different corners of the world. We also hope to provide our participants with numerous opportunities for formal as well as informal networking and academic collaboration. As a conference chair of ESBB Dhofar University International Conference 2021, I would like to thank all those who contributed to the success of this conference. Thank you very much, Professor Amr bin Ali al-Rawas, for the continuous guidance and endless support. Thank you to the whole ESBB group and the steering committees of the conference. Thank you to the conference coordinators for their careful follow-up. Thank you to the conference program chair for organizing the technical program. Thank you to the members of program committees and the reviewers for their thorough and timely reviewing of proposals. Thank you to the technical support staff. Thank you to the student support group. Thank you to the invited speakers, the authors of the papers, their co-authors, and presenters. Thanks to every colleague here at Dhofar University for their collaboration and wonderful job. At the end, I wish all of you interactive, engaging, stimulating, and fruitful experience at this conference, and greetings from Dhofar University, Salah Al Oman. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you, Dr. Khalid, for your very warm speech. Next, I would like to give the floor to Dr. John Baker to talk to our audience about the next destination of the ESBB conference.
Ladies and gentlemen, honored participants, I'd like to thank the ESBB organizers and Dhofar University for giving the opportunity to give this presentation today. It is indeed a pleasure and an honor. We would like to provide a brief and humble announcement for our next conference that'll be coming up in December 2022, first week of December, first weekend. Let me share a little bit about the conference with you. Share screen, right? That's how this is supposed to work. There we go. Okay, I've done it. Okay. Would someone please confirm that you can see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can see it.
Oh, super. Fantastic. All right. I'd like to welcome you all to the conference on December 3, 4, and 5, 2022. It'll be on site or hybrid as COVID will allow. Okay. This is TDTU. It's a beautiful campus located in Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam. We're the number 2 university, number 2 research university in the country. I'd like to take a moment to share with you a little bit about the university, if I can. I do my best technologically here to make that work here. I put a link in the bottom of the chat box there for those of you who may not be able to see the video that I'm trying to show so desperately right now. Okay. Hopefully it'll be good to me. Okay. All right. Here we go again. There we go. Okay, share. All right. Can I confirm that you can see a video? Ladies and gentlemen, may I confirm that you can see a video?
Yes, we can see the video,
Yes.
Super.
but there is no sound.
لدى المتحدث الرئيسي جالس يسوي لي.
John, we're not able to hear. I think there is audio that goes with the video, but we're not able to do that.
I apologize.
No worries at all. I think the best way to do it, if we just you stop sharing,
Yes.
and then try to share again, you'll get an option that says sound optimize.
Right. I'm not seeing that option. May I do this?
The
Sound
best way to do
optimized.
it is stop sharing now.
Okay.
Okay, stop sharing and then try to share again. And at the bottom, you'll get an option that says
Share sound.
share sound.
Got it.
You are in the lead.
There we go.
Can you hear it now?
Yes.
University is the
Thank you for the feedback.
No problem at all. I should have done it earlier, probably.
7 Ho Chi Minh City, and having campuses located in Nha Trang, Ba Lop, Ca Mau, and Long Xuyen. TDTU was established in 1997. After more than 20-year period of continuous improvement and development, TDTU has confirmed its role as one of the leading universities to be listed in the top 1,000 universities of the world by both reputable ARWU and URAP rankings. It's also ranked 207th in Asia's top 500 best universities in 2020. In 2018, TDTU was accredited and recognized by the High Council for Evaluation of Research and Higher Education, HCERES, to comply with the French and European standards. In 2019, TDTU was ranked from 101st to 200th in 2019's THE University Impact Ranking, which recognizes universities worldwide for their social and economic impacts. The Tan Phong campus is seen as the most modern campus, with a wide range of theoretical classrooms, laboratories, simulation labs, state-of-the-art equipment that facilitate teaching and learning activities. TDTU Library, which has 24/7 access, is rated world-class by HCERES. Student housing is also rated 5 stars for its security, facilities, and services, such as bus stations, supermarkets, bookstores, ATMs, sports shops. The sports complex includes a versatile gymnasium, a FIFA 2-star stadium, swimming pools, tennis courts, volleyball courts, and basketball courts, which best facilitate the physical training activities of all stakeholders, enhancing the sportsmanship and teamwork among students, beside knowledge improvement and professional development. TDTU's undergraduate programs are adapted from the world's top 100 universities' curriculums and are categorized into 4 types of programs subject to the level of English usage. Standard programs, which are fully taught in Vietnamese, high-quality programs, which are taught in English and Vietnamese, fully English-taught programs, and campus transfer programs in collaboration with foreign universities. Regarding postgraduate programs, TDTU is offering master's programs, domestic doctoral programs, sandwich doctoral programs in collaboration with European universities, and postdoctoral research programs. For general education, there's Vietnam-Finland International School in TDTU, which applies original Finnish educational program from grades 1 to grade 12. This is the first Finnish school in Southeast Asia. Regarding the organizational structure, TDTU has 16 faculties, 1 college, and 1 school as follows. Faculty of Applied Sciences, Faculty of Mathematics and Statistics, Faculty of Social Sciences and Humanities, Faculty of Information Technology, Faculty of Electrical and Electronics Engineering, Faculty of Civil Engineering, Faculty of Environment and Labor Safety, Faculty of Industrial Fine Arts, Faculty of Law, Faculty of Labor Relations and Trade Unions, Faculty of Foreign Languages, Faculty of Business Administration, Faculty of Finance and Banking, Faculty of Accounting, Faculty of Pharmacy, Faculty of Sports Sciences, College of International Studies, and a vocational school. For years, graduate employability of TDTU has been 100%. TDTU graduates are employed within 12 months after graduation. TDTU's science and technology activities are in the lead in Vietnam for international publication by the records of ISI and Scopus database. In 2019, for the first time, TDTU was the only Vietnamese university to be ranked among the top 10 best research universities in Southeast Asia.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Professor, thank you so much for letting me know there was no sound. I'm grateful. Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes, we can.
Can you see the slide?
Yeah.
Okay. On behalf of TDTU and the foreign language faculty, we would like to welcome you all to next year's conference. We're located in Ho Chi Minh City. It's an amazing city. Culture, it has enormous culture. It's vibrant, it's exciting. It's beautiful. We have cultural shows, we have cultural events, we'll have cultural tours, and all sorts of entertainment for the attendees, both on-site and off-site. We invite you to come along and enjoy the culture and enjoy the city. Vietnam is a very large country. It's beautiful and it's very different in all places. So for those of you who wish to come early or come later, we encourage you to stay and enjoy the country. We enjoy you to travel to our many wonderful destinations. We have an amazing assortment of areas in Vietnam. We invite you to enjoy the food and which is frankly spectacular. And most importantly, we invite you to come enjoy the warmth and the smiles of the people of Vietnam. On behalf of TDTU and the Faculty of Foreign Languages, we welcome you to next year's conference. We will be online, on-site, or hybrid, depending on COVID, but we will certainly be here and we're welcoming all of you. Thank you for this opportunity to share. Details and calls for papers will be forthcoming. Thank you. I'm going to have to learn how to stop sharing now. Can someone, there we go. Okay.
Thank you, Dr. John Baker. Now we are ready to launch our conference, but before we start the conference, let me quote Francis Bacon on conference: "Reading maketh a full man, conference a ready man, and writing an exact man." In line with the conference theme of crossing borders of scholarship for teaching and learning English, I welcome you all to fasten your seatbelts and be ready for the takeoff of this conference. After a 30 minutes break, I would like to request Dr. Abdurrahman, Dr. Murad, Dr. Suhair, and Dr. Sharina to be ready to chair the 4 plenary sessions from 10 to 10:50. And finally, I wish you all the very best. I will see you again tomorrow at 3:30 Oman time in the wrap-up session. Thank you all.
Thank you.